Welcome to podcast number 6 from Modern Malinois. Today we are going to be talking about how to build a social media channel. We have the Goglinaw with us, Magnus, the himbo, the sweetest, most lovable Malinois on the planet, and of course we have the illustrious Penny.
Yes, we do. Welcome.
The first order of business today is announcing the winner for... The first order of business is announcing the winner from our Guessing the Thang Nips number contest off of our last podcast. And the winner is J Lid. Hope you're having a great day, J Lid. These are some rubs to the goggle just from J Lid, and he's goggling now. Yeah, he's just goggling now.
Good job guessing the number of nipples. You're fantastic at it.
You're adopting my YouTube voice, I see.
I see. You see and I see.
All right. So to kind of talk about where we have been, because we haven't posted any long form stuff or any podcasts lately, we have been building our kennel, getting all of the new roof on it, new siding. We have new insulation, basically completely redoing the whole thing. The electrical work is being done right now. We're having an additional 400 amp service added to the property so that it can house not only the kennel, but we're going to be building a really big training facility as soon as I can find the right builder for that. And that is just taking up so much time. Also, we have all the sprinkler system done for the puppy training yard. It's going to be a gigantic yard for the dogs to train outside with the softest of grass on their little puppy paws.
It's going to look fantastic. And even right now, it's really just fun to see it going together.
We got our big dog wash, like our professional dog bath in last week, and super excited to be able to use that. The plumbing is not hooked up yet, and we don't have power out there right now because we cut the old power since we're getting the new service. But that's going to be so nice to be able to bathe all the dogs and the puppies in a legit dog wash and not just in my shower.
Definitely.
We are getting closer and closer to Thang puppies. You know, she's scheduled to go into a heat cycle later this year in like October-ish, and that's when she will be impregnated. And then late December, maybe early January, we will have puppies. And we're going to give a tour of our kennel once it's like semi-finished. There's just so much, trash and just stuff in there from all the construction that's being done. And once that's done, we're going to give you a tour. But, a couple of the things that we are doing different is there won't be like regular type kennel runs in there. All the dogs are going to be in just basic crates because I want all of my dogs to exist in there like they would if they were in a home. So no high security crates or kennel runs. Like I want them to be in a regular wire crate that you would just pick up at the store, or an airplane crate like a Vario. So yeah, it's just going to be regular crates for all the puppies once they're old enough to go in there. And I'm super excited to show you. It's a big area. We've got two 50-gallon water heaters put together in tandem, so we'll have plenty of water if we need to wash all of the dogs, and we have hot water out there. It's going to be absolutely epic.
Super exciting.
The topic for today, I had a lot of people asking about giving advice or trying to help with building a dog social media channel, and I wanted to tell you about the journey from 0 followers to all of our accounts total now about close to 6 million total followers across all the platforms, and how that happened, the mistakes we made, the things that I learned have really worked. So the first thing to talk about is definitely you have to know that a luck is going to play a huge factor. No one can force a video to go viral. And that happening can completely, one video can completely make a channel. All of a sudden, boom, they have a channel when they had nothing. The other thing to acknowledge is that being a white male, I have a distinct advantage. That's not a good thing, but it is just the truth that for whatever reason, we live in the patriarchy. So people see me as a man. I have a bald head. I look manly and tough and all this garbage. And they are going to view me more as an authority figure, unfortunately, than if they saw, say, a woman of color. And so I definitely recognize that some of my success has come from that. And it's not just hard work, although there has been a lot of that. But I do think, that is a big thing. There's people out there, I know women out there who are much better at, say, pet training or have lots more experience than I do, and yet they don't get a fraction of the views that I get, even though they're putting out great content. The next thing I want to talk about is how many failures that I had. I tried building some social media accounts under a different name for over a year. And at the end of that year, how many followers do you think I had, like posting maybe a few times a week?
Well, I assume it's low, but also probably over 1,000, maybe 5,000.
I had 98.
Oh, okay.
98 followers. And that was in like 2019. And then, COVID hit, and I heard all about like this one particular clock app that I had to start posting on. And I started posting there. And the next thing I know, it was like my second or third post went what I would consider then viral. Now it just seems like it would be a disappointing post, but to me then it seemed like it was viral, and within a month I had like 100,000 followers on that app, and it was just the right time. I was able to devote all of my resources to it, which is another thing I have to, a lot of people don't have the ability to just go from 0 to 100. Especially in the pandemic, they were worried about how they were going to feed their family or feed themselves. And I was fortunate enough to be able to just work at social media like it was a full-time job, yet I wasn't bringing any money in because I was financially stable at the time from my previous job. A lot of you always don't know I have a degree in mathematics and statistics. And when I started the social media accounts, I didn't, or it was just really just the one at the time, the clock app. It wasn't really to be famous or to even really make money. I just did it. I don't even know why I did it, but the first couple videos that really popped off, it's crazy the dopamine rush that it gives you. Like, you feel like you're high. Like the first time you have a viral video, you're just like, it's like you feel just euphoric. And I think being kind of having an obsessive personality. I've talked about being autistic, having very much laser focus on things. I just went all in and kind of was like chasing that feeling for a long time of getting a video that would just blow up, and then like you just feel like you're riding on a high or cloud nine for days.
So it sounds like it's kind of luck in two different ways, like luck to go viral, but also luck to have the ability to like put focus in and to make yourself go viral. Exactly.
Yes. And so we've talked about the luck. I think it's important to recognize that, but also like there was a survey they did with children. I think it was high school kids, and they asked them what they wanted to be when they grew up, and it was like 91% of kids said they wanted to be an influencer. Wow. And it seems like so easy, like, oh, you put out a 30-second video or a 60-second video, this and that. And as you can attest to, like, now helping me for since last October, was it November?
November, yeah.
Since last November, when we put out a 60-second video, that probably has at least 3 or 4 hours of work that like goes into planning it, setting it up, shooting it. Maybe something happened with the weather or the footage or something. We have to shoot it again. Or like maybe the dogs are just really tired that day, or I'm really tired and it doesn't work out and we have to do more. And then we have to edit it. And then, it takes 3 or 4 hours for dropped his. Hey, come on. Where'd your toy go? It takes 3 or 4 hours. Hey, come on. To produce like a 60-second video.
So a lot of it is patience too, sounds like.
All right, we had a little bit of a dog difficulty there. He jumped down, and then we had to let him get back up. But what I was going to say is, 91% of these kids want to be an influencer, and yet they don't realize that, a properly produced 60-second video is going to take 4 to 6 hours of hard work, of focused work. And so while there is luck, there's also, it's cutthroat because you have to constantly be trying to push the envelope, constantly be putting out new kinds of content. And, it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Otherwise, you just get left in the dust. And it's super easy to get burnt out or just to lose creative juices and creative inspiration.
Yeah, and you can't force that creativity. And I feel very fortunate to be part of this process because it's definitely it's a lot different than I imagined, but also so rewarding of an experience. So it's definitely it's a very cool career. I'm very grateful to be a part of it with you, but it's definitely a lot more work than what you think of when you think of an influencer.
And I just for the record don't consider myself. I don't influence anyone to buy anything, so I can't really consider myself an influencer. I would consider myself a content creator just because I'm not buy this ball. I mean, there's a couple companies, if they reached out, I'd probably work with them. But the amount of companies that I turn down on a daily basis reaching out to me is a lot. At least 2 or 3 every day, hey, and I'm like, you're a beauty product store. What do I know about beauty products? Why are you trying to get me to... Here, lay down, dude.
Oh, dude.
There you go. All right. So the first major piece of advice that I would give anybody who wanted to start a dog training channel, social media platform, is just to post. Post. Because you're not going to get good at it if you don't post. You can, wait till you have all the best content ideas, wait till you have the best cameras, and it's going to be too late. So get you a cheap tripod, get your your iPhone, your Android, whatever kind of phone you use, and just make content. Make content, and over the course of months, look at what did well, look at what didn't do well. And I think one of the best things you can have is a goggle who loses his toy. Come on, hey, and has to jump down.
Goggle.
All right.
Hey, dude, come on.
He might just be done. Come on. You want to come back up? All right. Goggle don't want to be on the table anymore, so he's going to chew his toy on the ground. But is having 5 or 6 different types of videos that you can post, and those videos can easily be changed for different formats. A good example would be, and sometimes it's stuff you would never think would do well. For instance, one video that I've posted numerous times in different ways with different dogs is having someone a stranger in the video, and I just look at him and I say, "You want to hear him bark? Or you want to hear her bark?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And then I have them bark, they get the toy, and then that's the video. And that sounds so simple, and yet I have had numerous ones of those do extremely well, and it's an easy video that I can repeat. I can do it with different dogs in different situations, different environments, different strangers, and yet it's something that is going to perform well usually, and it's super easy. So I think having videos like that you can fall back on when you start to have the creative juices dry up temporarily is huge in keeping your momentum going.
And you emphasize the different platforms too, yes? Just having it able, the video able to convert to different platforms?
Yes. So I actually think of some of my videos are targeted towards different platforms. I will notice that certain platforms, certain types of videos do well, I think because of the age range, where TikTok shorts, it's usually the flashier kind of videos that tend to do better on TikTok or on shorts. On TikTok, it's just right now it's a who knows kind of thing. Their algorithm has just been so weird lately. But then Reels, it's always educational content or stuff that's a little bit more polished, seems to do better. And so I have I'm still going to make the same content. I'm still going to put it out to all the platforms, but I will say, okay, well, this particular day I'm going to post a piece of content that's kind of geared towards this platform, and that way I can kind of try to continue to grow them all simultaneously. The first real tip in how to make videos that I see people doing all the time, and I think it is really hurting views for people: never say hi. Never announce who you are, because people do not care. If people care enough to know who you are, then they're going to watch it anyways, because they already know who you are. If they don't know who you are, they don't care. Don't say hi. Don't say, hey, this is dog trainer Matt here with the dog training tip. You have just lost them. They have already swiped, because no one cares who you are. Please do not say, how are you doing? Like, what are you expecting them to answer in the comments? Like, stop that, please. Like, just get to the point. The video comes up. Don't say, here's a dog training tip. Just give it. And on that same point, have some kind of a hook. Like, whether you've noticed, like, a lot of my videos say, like, I do like a little contact heel, and then we go into like a kneeling, and then I either say something or like answer a question. That's a hook, because it's like, I'll be like, like, here's what you need to know about XYZ. And I never make it clickbaity, maybe like 15% clickbaity, because if you do clickbait, that's a great way to have one video do well, and then people will think, oh, this guy's just putting out clickbait content. And next time I see it, I'm just going to scroll, and then boom, you don't ever get another good video to pop off.
Yeah, you lose the trust of your followers.
Exactly. So, like, just a little bit of clickbait to make it fun, to make it, exciting, or like, what is he talking about, is fine. But, like, don't overdo it, or like you say, you're going to lose the trust of your following quickly.
Well, in school, we're always taught to like start essays with really like important information, the hook. So it's definitely the same in videos, because people like that interesting, exciting things.
Up next is lighting. I think that also really can hurt people in their views when you've got a video and you can barely tell what's going on. Like, you don't have to have professional lighting, but if you're going to have a spot where in the video where you're like, it's kind of a close up and you're talking about something, find some place that doesn't have a very bright background and that doesn't create shadows under your eyes. Like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, is I hate being able to see shadows under my eyes in videos, because I feel like that kind of like takes away from the trust. Like, there's like a subconscious thing where, like, if you can't see a person's eyes, then you don't trust them as well. It's one reason I don't ever wear sunglasses in my videos, is I want you to see my eyes so that you don't think I'm subconsciously think I'm hiding something. But just, and if you have a wider shot, just make sure there's not like, a blown out background where it's super bright behind you and then you can't even see anything, because your iPhone's automatic exposure is going to drop it down, which is another thing. If you're using a phone, learn how to use it to its fullest. If you don't have a camera, like iPhones, Androids can do amazing video now. And, unless you are really have a reason or a purpose, like, there's really no reason to get a super nice camera when you're first starting out. But learn how to use your iPhones, learn how to like set the exposure, learn how to change the white balance, so that when you are getting the video, it's the best possible, and you're not just relying on the phone to basically do what's called like metering, where it looks at the whole image and tries to decide, how can I get a balanced image? Because if you have a really bright background, all of a sudden it's just going to drop the exposure down, and you're not going to be able to see you and the dog, or whatever type of training you're doing.
Would you say that this sort of lighting thing, it kind of depends also what time of day, like planning ahead to make sure you take advantage of like the things you have? So like using your phone to the fullest, but also like using your environment to its fullest.
Yeah, and you know how much we like love cloudy days, and how, like we see a cloudy day coming, like we rearrange everything to try to shoot on that day for the cloudiness, so that we don't have that gigantic dynamic range. Meaning, like, dynamic range, for those that don't know much about cameras, is the distance between, the lightest and the darkest. I should have said darkest and the lightest. And so when we have those harsh shadows and those really bright highlights, when we have a nice cloudy day. And another thing we do is, we like to shoot at dusk. We don't shoot at dawn because
we'll get there eventually.
Eventually, but yeah, it gets bright early here and gets dark late. But yeah, so that's huge. I'm always thinking about cloudy days and where the sun is, and that's why. Also, I'm looking forward to having this big training facility as we'll be able to do a ton more videos and put out a lot more content because we'll have that space versus being outside. But I also have noticed, I feel like a lot of times outdoor videos seem to do better in algorithms than indoor videos for whatever reason. I've noticed that. So that's another reason you see like the majority of my videos are outside. Even if it's something that I could do in a training building, I would rather have it outside.
And these little things that you're learning, like through your experience, like just that one right there, it sounds like people will eventually learn that as they're starting to post.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I can say is like, don't just, once you have a couple months of posting under your belt, like in the beginning, you just need to it's like throwing darts at a wall with your eyes closed. Just see what sticks. Because you don't know what's going to stick. You don't know what you're going to enjoy. You don't know what your audience wants to see. But, at the same time, you have to be authentic. You have to stay true to yourself because that's the quickest way, I think, to lose people is trying to, be, I guess, like this is not a Gen Z saying.
Uh-oh.
I'm reclaiming this for the millennials, but being a tryhard, like you don't want to come off as tryhard or be cringy. And so, being authentic and like doing stuff that you enjoy, like I have so many videos that I will just go watch because like I really enjoyed making the video. Like I really think it's a great video and I just want to like watch it, or it like gets me excited. Like, the one with like where Kaladin, he's like turning his head and it's like, you think it's the 95-pound German Shepherd you have to watch out for, and then out comes Alexandra, and like I still like get excited, watching that video. So like make content that makes you excited to watch it, and then other people will be excited to watch it.
Going on with that video, I think a part of it too was the really cool music that went along with it. Would you say like following trends, like that song was a trend, and using that in a creative way also really helped your channel? So like, would you say that there's a big influence on trends, or would you focus more on like individual content and not really going with like the flow of TikTok or other apps?
Well, I think it seems like trends don't really matter on Reels and Shorts as much as TikTok. And I have never really liked doing, I don't know, for some reason I've never wanted to do like what other people are doing. And so if I do trends, I try to make it ones that aren't dog related, just because, like I want to be able to like, okay, here's the only channel who's doing a trend that, this particular trend, but like how did, like I never would have thought that we could do it with dogs. I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but I have never really focused that much on trends. To me, it just kind of like, it doesn't really feel authentic or like who I am. I do some of them obviously because I think some of them like are fun, like that one last year. It was like like yeah. I mean that's like made for my account, like that's perfect for my account regardless of other dogs are doing it. Or like I finally decided, I don't know, I just thought it was cool to do like the Pretty Girls Walk This Way, even though tons of dog accounts had done that. But you have to be like trends can be tricky too because if you don't get them at the very beginning, then, you're just a little late on a trend, then it's going to flop. And because people are tired of it, we've already seen this 1,000 times. We're done with it. So with trends, you either have to be like right at the beginning when like they're just getting started out and it's fresh and people are still excited about it. Or another secret, that's something that I like to do is like wait till the trend has died out, and then like a year later, like you do the trend again, and a lot of people will either not have ever seen it because they're new to the app, or they will have forgotten about it, and then it's like fresh, and it's almost like you started the trend.
Definitely, yeah, that's a great insight.
Little secret to fuse, secret to goggle. Oh, the secrets.
He came back.
Goggle likes the whispers.
Dude, boy.
Yeah, he's Goggle. Oh, my Goggle. My Goggle. My Goggle. He's goggle. Yeah. All right, so a couple things I wanted to mention about when you kind of have your content flowing, you have started to build somewhat of a channel, you're getting some traction, you're getting people commenting in your comment section. Definitely want that to happen because it's going to help you in the algorithm, regardless of the platform. But a couple things to think about is one, your comment section is not a democracy. So I see too many people that just let their comment sections run rampant, and like, don't be afraid to delete comments. Don't be afraid to block people. Like, my comment section is not a democracy. You don't just get to have any opinion you want in my comment section. If you say something ignorant or something that is, other people could see and get confused by, I'm just gonna delete it. Because not everyone has a lot of experience in dog training, or, maybe they are not good at seeing an argument and evaluating that claim. They don't have very good logic skills. So they just see the argument being made and just immediately going to agree with it. So that's one of the reasons you don't see me arguing with people in my comments. I just go ahead and delete it. And if it's something that's like over the top, I'm just going to block them because I don't need that in my comment section. At the end of the day, it may be holding me back a little bit, but the quality of my comment section is excellent. The stress that I have over my comment section is negligible, and I don't have like crazy people just fighting and saying wild stuff there. And on that vein, don't engage with trolls. Trolls do not care if it's positive or negative attention. They feed on any attention. And you'll notice that there's a lot of creators who just they'll respond to, they'll do a video response to a comment that says, "I bet you hit your dogs." And it's just like, when you do that, all you're doing is giving fuel for every other troll to just comment because they know they might get attention. They might get you to make a video about something stupid, and you're just wasting your time. And also, most people don't care. They don't care if someone said something stupid to you, so the video's not going to do well anyways. So just block the trolls, delete their comments, and don't give them the time of day. And that's the only thing that they hate.
Would you say with any sort of amount of success that trolls are going to happen eventually, or do you think it happens more as you get more successful, or is it just something that you've learned to deal with and now looking back you've learned from experience just to ignore them?
Yeah, so the more hate I get, the more I kind of I've learned to see that almost as a good thing. I know it can be really hard for some people to, hear bad things being said about them, regardless of whether it has, any basis in reality. But I try to make it to think that it's the only reason that they're coming in my comment section or making videos about me is because of my success. And, I've had my share of hate comments, my share of people making videos or saying stuff about me that's just plainly not true. And I just see that as yay, I'm succeeding. I think the only thing that really gripes me is when people try to steal my videos. So if you see an account that's Malinois.tactical or whatever, it's not run by an actual content creator. It's just run by someone who steals other people's content. And no one cares if you give a tag, because that's like me taking a loaf of bread from the store and being like, shout out to the store as I walked out, stealing their product. They want the money. And so if you don't know, YouTube has a great copyright identification system, so check that regularly, to see if you're doing well. Number two is I recently found this because I was having a really big time with people stealing my stuff on Instagram, and it's become really difficult to do DMCA takedown requests all of a sudden this year. It was easy last year, and now they're being really weird about it. But Rights Manager on Meta has you can upload all of your videos, and then once you do that, anytime someone posts one of your videos, it'll alert you, and then it's really simple to have it taken down. So I highly recommend doing that if you have any kind of successful videos, or just doing it for posterity in case that you ever pop off and people want to start stealing your stuff. the third and last thing I want to say about like your content, other people trying to post it, is be so careful about any of these big platforms like FJerry, Lad Bible, Puberty, the Dodo. Like, they are all just complete trash of human beings. Like, screw them to the max. F them, because all they do is screw over creators, have them sign these stupid contracts that give them rights to all of your content in perpetuity forever and give you nothing. They say, oh, we're going to give you this exposure. No one cares. You think anyone grows from getting exposure on that Bible? No. No one freaking cares. No one's looking at who the original creator was and going to their channel and following them. So, like, you know, I've had a lot of them reach out to me, and you look at the contracts that they want you to sign, and they literally will give them rights to all of your content in perpetuity forever, you know, and like, no, you don't get anything out of it. All they're doing is like trying to, you know, sell ad revenue and their products based off of like stealing other people's content. So just don't do it. And if you see a content that is made by one of these people, just immediately scroll. You know, don't interact, don't say anything, just immediately scroll and ignore it.
Yeah, so be aware of big scams like that, because that's how you sabotage your own channel.
Mm-hmm. Or just your own, yeah, I mean, you can sabotage, you know, and like, because then all of a sudden they can post whatever they want of yours, and it's just, you will regret it. So, I have a couple questions for you.
Oh,
you
okay.
said earlier that this was different than what you imagined it would be. In what way is it different than what you imagined? Like, this is in like us, you know, she helps me create the content, so.
I'd say I thought like every day I'd get here and there would be an exact schedule, and I kind of I honestly like that it's kind of like we take advantage of the opportunities that we have, like with the time of day, if we have any big ideas that we want to do right away. I like that there's more like creative flow to it, and it's not just like set in stone. I think that's a really good way for like creativity to foster. I also really like that you're open to new ideas. Like, you're not really set in stone. If I have an idea, it's not like, oh, we know nothing. It's like, oh, let me hear it and let's see if we can apply it. So I feel very grateful to be a part of this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big, that's, you know, I try to do that in my life. You know, most of my life people were, hey, come on. He's like, throw my toy. We'll come up here and we'll play with you.
Goggle. Hey.
Come on. All right, whatever. We got distracted by Goggle for a second. But yeah, it's kind of how I've tried to almost, you know, run my life as well. You know, I got a lot of flack for most of my life, like going 100 or nothing. And people always go, oh, you got to find the middle ground. And I finally just kind of stopped believing and stopped listening to that and just did what comes natural to me. And that's like go until the time is not right, and then relax, and then go. And, you know, I try to do it with my dog training. I try to do it with, you know, making the videos, and I'm glad that it makes sense to you at least.
Shake it off. I also did not expect you to make fun of me as much as you do. Yeah, it's very fun, and I definitely like think about my laugh now more. Thanks, Matt. Should we do a challenge for the next video?
Yes, let's do a challenge. All right, here we go. Out of all of my dogs, who eats the most? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's by a large margin, too. A large margin.
I don't even know if I know this.
Oh. First one to comment which dog of mine, whether it be the youngest Alexandra, the next Maguna, the next the Poop-Pup, or the big boy, the Cali Wally, biggest Bally Bobally. We're going to give you a shout out on the next podcast and a rub to the dog that is in the podcast. We hope you enjoyed podcast number 6, and we will see you again soon.
Bye.
Goggle. Come on. Come on.
Oh.